Canada, where the hockey is fast, the summers are short, and apparently the exit doors are wide open. While we've always known Canadians to be friendly, it seems they're now extending that friendliness to other countries by moving there. Let's find out why. In 2022, a record-breaking 113,000 Canadians left the country for greener pastures abroad. This exodus marks a stark contrast to Canada's long-standing reputation as a haven for immigrants and a land of opportunity. The reality on the ground tells a different story. The Great White North is experiencing a significant brain drain, with skilled professionals and young talent seeking better prospects elsewhere. This departure of human capital is taking a toll on Canada's economy and social fabric, leaving industries struggling to fill crucial positions. What's driving this mass departure? From skyrocketing housing costs to a crumbling healthcare system, and from stagnant wages to questionable government policies, Canadians are facing a perfect storm of challenges. In the following sections, we'll explore these factors and why they're pushing people to say goodbye to the land of maple syrup. Economic struggles. The Canadian dream deferred. Let's zoom in on the economic picture. While Canada still shines on the global stage, a darker reality lurks beneath the surface. How bad has it gotten? Picture this: a country where even professionals with stable careers are struggling to make ends meet. What's causing this financial squeeze, and why are more Canadians looking beyond borders for a solution? The Canadian economy, once a beacon of stability, is now facing significant challenges. Rising costs of living, stagnant wages, and increasing income inequality have created a perfect storm that's eroding the financial security of many Canadians. In 2022, the inflation rate hit a 40-year high of 6.8%, outpacing wage growth and leaving many households struggling to keep up with basic expenses. This economic pressure is particularly evident in everyday costs. The price of groceries has skyrocketed, with a 9.9% increase in food prices recorded in 2022. Transportation costs have also surged, with gasoline prices rising by 32.8% in the same year. These increases are not matched by wage growth, which has remained relatively flat, averaging just 2 to 3% annually over the past decade. The widening gap between the rich and the poor is another concerning trend. Canada's income inequality has been steadily increasing, with the top 1% of earners now holding 25.6% of the country's wealth. This disparity is creating a two-tiered society where financial stability is becoming increasingly out of reach for many. The impact of these economic challenges is far-reaching. Young professionals, once optimistic about their future in Canada, are now grappling with the reality that their earning potential may not match their aspirations. Many are finding it difficult to save for major life milestones like home ownership or starting a family. Take the case of Sarah, a 32-year-old software engineer from Toronto. Despite her high-paying job, she found herself living paycheck to paycheck due to the city's high cost of living. "I was doing everything right. Good education, great job, but I still couldn't get ahead. It felt like running on a treadmill that was getting faster and faster," she says. Sarah's story is not unique. A growing number of Canadians are looking overseas for better financial prospects. Countries with lower costs of living and competitive salaries are becoming increasingly attractive. For instance, some European countries offer a combination of strong social safety nets and lower living costs, making them appealing alternatives for those feeling squeezed in Canada. The tech industry in particular has seen a significant exodus of talent, with Silicon Valley giants offering high salaries and the allure of a lower cost of living in some U.S. states. Many Canadian tech workers are heading south. This brain drain is not only a loss of talent, but also represents a significant investment in education and training that Canada is losing to other countries. The economic challenges are not limited to young professionals. Retirees and those approaching retirement age are also feeling the pinch. The rising cost of healthcare, coupled with inadequate pension plans, is forcing many to reconsider their retirement plans. Some are opting to retire in countries where their pensions can stretch further, providing a higher quality of life at a lower cost. These economic pressures are reshaping the Canadian dream. The traditional path of education, career, home ownership, and comfortable retirement is becoming increasingly difficult to achieve within Canada's borders. As a result, more Canadians are redefining success and seeking opportunities abroad that align with their financial goals and lifestyle aspirations. The housing crisis. No place like home? As Canadians struggle to achieve their financial goals at home, one pillar of stability remains frustratingly out of reach. The housing market, once a cornerstone of Canadian prosperity, has turned into a nightmare for many. How bad has it gotten, and why are some Canadians finding their dream homes in unexpected places? The Canadian housing crisis has reached unprecedented levels, with major cities experiencing skyrocketing prices that have put home ownership out of reach for many. In 2022, the average home price in Canada hit a staggering $816,720, a 20.6% increase from the previous year. This surge has been particularly severe in cities like Toronto and Vancouver, where average home prices have soared well over $1 million. Several factors contribute to this housing crisis. Foreign investment has played a significant role, with overseas buyers driving up prices in desirable urban areas. Limited housing supply, coupled with population growth, has created a severe imbalance in the market. Additionally, low interest rates have fueled a borrowing frenzy, further inflating housing prices. The impact of this crisis is felt across generations, but millennials and young families are hit particularly hard. Many find themselves priced out of the markets where they work, forcing them to consider long commutes or giving up on home ownership entirely. This situation has led to a phenomenon known as drive until you qualify, where young families move further away from city centers in search of affordable housing. Comparing Canadian housing affordability to other countries paints a grim picture. While the median house price divided by median household income should ideally be around 3.0, Canada's sites at a whopping 9.9. This places Canada among the least affordable housing markets globally, surpassing even notoriously expensive countries like Australia and the United Kingdom. The housing crisis has become a significant factor in the Canadian exodus. Countries with more affordable housing markets are becoming increasingly attractive to Canadians seeking to fulfill their home ownership dreams. For instance, in Portugal, a popular destination for Canadian expats, the average home price is just €209,000, approximately 305,000 Canadian dollars, less than half the Canadian average. Some Canadians are finding creative solutions to this crisis by looking beyond borders. Take the case of Mark and Sarah, a young couple from Vancouver who were struggling to save for a down payment on a modest condo. After years of frustration, they made the bold decision to relocate to Costa Rica. There, they were able to purchase a spacious house with an ocean view for a fraction of what a small apartment would cost in their hometown. Similarly, retirees are increasingly considering international options to stretch their savings. Countries like Mexico and Thailand offer the possibility of owning a home outright and enjoying a comfortable retirement, something that's becoming increasingly difficult in Canada's inflated market. The housing crisis is not just about shelter, it's reshaping the entire Canadian way of life. The traditional trajectory of finishing school, starting a career, and buying a home is becoming an antiquated notion for many. This shift is forcing Canadians to reevaluate their priorities and consider options they never thought they'd have to. Government attempts to address the crisis have been largely ineffective. Measures like the first-time homebuyer incentive and increased taxes on foreign buyers have done little to cool the market or increase affordability. This perceived lack of effective action has further fueled frustration and the desire to seek opportunities elsewhere. Healthcare woes, long wait times, short patience. While housing woes push Canadians to seek greener pastures, another pillar of national pride is crumbling beneath their feet. Could Canada's once lauded healthcare system be the final straw driving citizens to pack their bags? The answer may lie in the growing number of Canadians trading maple leaves for palm trees in search of better medical care. Canada's healthcare system, once a source of pride and envy, is now facing a crisis of its own. Long wait times for medical procedures and specialist appointments have become the norm, leaving many Canadians frustrated and desperate for alternatives. In 2022, the average wait time for treatment after seeing a specialist was 27.4 weeks, nearly double the 14.2 weeks recorded in 1993. These delays aren't just inconvenient, they're impacting the quality of life and overall health outcomes for countless Canadians. Patients waiting for hip or knee replacements often endure months of pain and reduced mobility. Those needing cancer treatments face anxiety-filled waits that can affect their prognosis. The strain on mental health services is equally concerning, with many struggling to access timely care during critical periods. The root causes of these issues are complex. An aging population is placing increased demand on healthcare services, while insufficient investment has left the system struggling to keep up. Canada's healthcare spending as a percentage of GDP has remained relatively stagnant even as the population grows and ages. This lack of investment is reflected in the shortage of healthcare professionals, outdated equipment, and overburdened facilities. Compared to countries attracting Canadian expats, the contrast can be stark. Take Spain, for example, where the average wait time for a hip replacement is just 123 days, compared to Canada's 182 days. Or consider Australia, where 90% of elective surgeries are performed within 268 days, while in Canada the same percentage is reached at 329 days. These disparities are driving some Canadians to seek healthcare abroad. John, a 58-year-old from Ontario, faced a 2-year wait for a knee replacement. Frustrated and in pain, he opted for surgery in Mexico. "I was back on my feet in weeks, not years," he says. "The care was excellent and the cost was less than what I would have lost in income waiting in Canada." Similarly, Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher from Vancouver, struggled to find mental health support in her province. After months of searching, she relocated to New Zealand. "Within 2 weeks of arriving, I had a therapist and a treatment plan," she recalls. "It was like night and day compared to what I experienced in Canada." These stories are becoming increasingly common. While medical tourism isn't new, the trend of Canadians permanently relocating for better healthcare access is growing. Countries with efficient healthcare systems and shorter wait times are becoming attractive options for those fed up with the Canadian system's shortcomings. The implications of this healthcare exodus extend beyond individual patient experiences. Canada is losing skilled professionals and taxpayers, further straining an already burdened system. Moreover, the departure of those who can afford to seek treatment elsewhere leaves behind a two-tiered system, where those without means are left to navigate increasingly long wait times and limited resources. As Canadians weigh their options, many are finding that the grass and the health care might indeed be greener on the other side. With housing costs soaring and medical care faltering, the decision to leave is becoming easier for some. The question now is whether Canada can address these critical issues before more of its citizens decide that the best treatment plan is a one-way ticket out of the country. Government policies, promises versus reality. As Canadians seek solutions abroad, a pressing question emerges. Are the very policies meant to keep citizens rooted inadvertently pushing them away? Recent government initiatives aimed at addressing Canada's mounting challenges may be having an unexpected effect. The Canadian government has implemented a series of policies designed to tackle economic, housing, and healthcare issues. However, the effectiveness of these measures is increasingly questioned by citizens who feel the disconnect between policy promises and on-the-ground realities. In recent years, Canada has introduced several high-profile initiatives. The first-time homebuyer incentive, launched in 2019, aimed to make home ownership more accessible. Yet, with average home prices soaring to $816,720 in 2022, many Canadians find this program insufficient. The government's attempts to cool the housing market through foreign buyer taxes have similarly fallen short, with prices continuing to rise in major urban centers. Economic policies have also come under scrutiny. The Canada Emergency Response Benefit, CERB, provided short-term relief during the COVID-19 pandemic, but critics argue it didn't address long-term economic challenges. Despite government efforts, inflation hit a 40-year high of 6.8% in 2022, outpacing wage growth and leaving many households struggling. Healthcare initiatives have been equally contentious. The government's promised Canada Pharmacare program, intended to provide universal drug coverage, has yet to materialize fully. Meanwhile, wait times for medical procedures continue to increase, with the average wait for treatment after seeing a specialist reaching 27.4 weeks in 2022. These policy shortcomings are not going unnoticed. A growing number of Canadians are comparing their situation to countries with more effective policies. For instance, New Zealand's Kiwi Build program, while not without its challenges, has made strides in increasing affordable housing supply. Similarly, Australia's Medicare system offers shorter wait times for many procedures compared to Canada's healthcare system. The perceived ineffectiveness of Canadian policies is contributing to a sense of disillusionment. Mark, a 35-year-old software engineer from Toronto, expresses his frustration. "I voted for change, but I'm not seeing it. The policies sound good on paper, but they're not making a real difference in my life. I'm seriously considering opportunities abroad where I feel my skills and taxes will be better appreciated." This sentiment is echoed by many young professionals who feel that government policies are out of touch with their realities. The promise of affordable housing remains elusive, healthcare continues to be strained, and economic opportunities seem increasingly limited. As a result, some are looking to countries with more responsive policies and better quality of life. Interestingly, some nations are capitalizing on Canada's policy shortcomings. Countries like Portugal and Spain are actively courting skilled Canadian workers with attractive visa programs and tax incentives. These countries offer a combination of affordable housing, efficient healthcare, and a lower cost of living that many Canadians find appealing. For example, Portugal's non-habitual resident (NHR) tax regime offers significant tax benefits to qualifying professionals for their first 10 years of residence. This program, combined with Portugal's Golden Visa scheme, has attracted a growing number of Canadian expatriates seeking a more affordable lifestyle and new opportunities. Similarly, Australia's Global Talent Visa program actively targets highly skilled professionals in specific sectors, offering a fast track to permanent residency. This approach contrasts with Canada's more generalized immigration policies, which some critics argue don't do enough to retain top talent. The effectiveness of these foreign initiatives in attracting Canadian talent raises questions about the adequacy of Canada's own policies. While the Canadian government has introduced measures like the Global Skills Strategy to attract international talent, it appears to be struggling to retain its own skilled workforce. The grass is greener. Where Canadians are going. As Canada grapples with its internal challenges, a surprising trend is emerging on the global stage. While the Great White North struggles to retain its talent, other nations are seizing the opportunity. Which countries are becoming the new promised land for disillusioned Canadians? The answer might reshape global migration patterns and leave Canada facing an unexpected brain drain. The exodus of Canadians is not just a matter of people leaving, it's about where they're going. Popular destinations for Canadian expats include the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and increasingly countries like Portugal, Spain, and Costa Rica. These nations offer a combination of factors that many Canadians find appealing: better economic opportunities, more affordable housing, efficient healthcare systems, and in some cases, a more relaxed lifestyle. The United States remains a top choice for many Canadian professionals, particularly those in tech and finance. Silicon Valley and New York continue to attract Canadian talent with higher salaries and the allure of working for global industry leaders. However, it's not just the traditional powerhouses drawing Canadians south. States like Texas and Florida are becoming increasingly popular due to their lower cost of living and absence of state income tax. Across the Atlantic, the United Kingdom has long been a favored destination for Canadians seeking international experience. Despite Brexit uncertainties, cities like London continue to offer diverse job opportunities, especially in finance and creative industries. The shared language and cultural similarities make the transition easier for many Canadians. Australia has emerged as another top contender. With its robust economy, sunny climate, and high quality of life, it's not hard to see why. The Australian healthcare system, Medicare, often outperforms Canada's in terms of wait times and access to specialists. Moreover, Australia's Global Talent Visa program actively targets highly skilled professionals, offering a fast track to permanent residency. Perhaps more surprising is the growing popularity of countries like Portugal and Spain. These nations are attracting Canadians with a combination of affordable living costs, pleasant climate, and attractive visa programs. Portugal's non-habitual resident tax regime, for instance, offers significant tax benefits to qualifying professionals for their first 10 years of residence. This, coupled with Portugal's Golden Visa scheme, has made it an increasingly appealing option for Canadians looking to stretch their dollars further. The stories of Canadians finding success abroad are numerous and varied. Take Sarah, a 35-year-old software engineer from Vancouver who relocated to Lisbon. In Canada, I was spending over half my income on rent. Here I have a spacious apartment in the city center and I'm saving money, she says. Plus, the work-life balance is so much better. I feel like I'm truly living, not just surviving. Similarly, Mark, a 42-year-old teacher from Toronto, found a new lease on life in Costa Rica. The cost of living is so much lower here and the pace of life suits me better, he explains. I was able to buy a house outright, something that seemed impossible in Toronto. And the healthcare system, while different, has been efficient and affordable. These individual success stories point to a larger trend that could have significant implications for Canada's future. The loss of skilled professionals, often referred to as brain drain, can have long-lasting effects on a country's economy and innovation potential. Industries such as tech, healthcare, and education may find themselves struggling to fill crucial positions, potentially hampering growth and competitiveness on the global stage. Moreover, the exodus of young professionals and families could exacerbate Canada's aging population issue. With fewer working-age individuals contributing to the tax base and supporting social services, the strain on systems like healthcare and pensions could intensify. The road ahead. Can Canada turn the tide? As we've seen, Canadians are leaving their country in droves due to a perfect storm of economic struggles, an unaffordable housing market, a strained healthcare system, and ineffective government policies. These challenges have pushed many to seek opportunities abroad, where they find better job prospects, more affordable homes, and efficient healthcare. While the Canadian government has introduced measures to address these issues, such as the first-time home buyer incentive and healthcare reform promises, many citizens feel these efforts fall short. The exodus of skilled professionals and young families poses a significant threat to Canada's future economic growth and social stability. As the situation unfolds, Canadians face a crucial decision: stay and push for change or seek a better life elsewhere. The question remains: can Canada reverse this trend and reclaim its status as a land of opportunity, or will it continue to watch its talent slip away to more appealing shores?